Okay, so a very good morning from my area. Welcome back. So this is the last season's Iterates defense. Offensively, I did very well. I only lost 40 Aether considering I only have one Naga, so that's something. But even more excited, I'm really excited because this is another season of perfect defense. Last time I did it on Light, this time around I did it on Astra, which is really cool. But some of the wins honestly is kinda strappy, and I made some changes that as in last week I made some changes that really helped out against this week. So let's begin. The first thing is this Micaiah with plus 10 close counter advantage. So what happened on turn 1 is that is that Naga smited Micaiah hoping that it could kill Titania. Unfortunately that isn't the case. So Micaiah retreated, and what happened is that the player then tries to do a double smite to activate the lightning trap, which worked. But however tries to attack, which did not work. And I don't know what's going on there, probably to hit the healing tower, and then everything just falls apart pretty much because Alm being Alm, and AoE damage is just way too much for almost any unit to handle, I would say. And after that, Titania kills Nisala, which because triangle advantage, Titania don't really have that much attack, but because of the lightning trap, everything just falls into place. Konya kills Naga because Cloud Myoji. Hits once, pretty much gone. And even though Micaiah has advantage because Celica has Hardy Bearing, yeah, there's 4 units down and pretty much done for this match. And then surrender, I think. Yeah, surrender. Okay, so if you realized, I don't need to 2 times anymore because I don't have that much things to cover this time around. So normal audio this time. If anyone prefers the fast forward audio, I guess I could go on introduce more matches, but I'll just keep it normal speed for now. Alright, so this one is interesting. So this is a maximum invested Libra, but with one key area. Yes, Bridal Film is one of my counters, and most importantly, this Poleaxe thing, man. Poleaxe. Why Poleaxe though? Probably to kill Reinhardt and Veronica, but those are pretty much like non-issues at the highest tier, and this guy is like fully invested and stuff with plus 10 everything. But as you can see, Escutcheon deals only 3 damage, but 6 damage I mean. His launch also gets the AoE off and takes out Libra.
I can see the light.
So what happened here? Deflect melee. I anticipated that might be a problem against Brief Ike, but sometimes it just comes in pretty useful in this kind of situation. And also partially because there's the Light Blessing, which grants Titania 3 extra health, I think. So that 3 HP actually came down really clutch actually. If not for that 3 HP, I wouldn't have even lived. So that's kinda nice. I really hope that I could get more Dragon Flowers on Titania because Titania will benefit a lot from the Dragon Flowers. Alright, so this one's another interesting one. Everyone's running Legendary Lucina as a bonus, which is really good in player phase comps because Legendary Lucina has this fusion vision thing which allows for a lot of swaps to happen. So for player phase, it's very useful because you can actually get out of in danger much more easily. It's as though you have a pseudo dancer in your team. So coupled with Legendary Azura and plus this is Water Season, I think. Is it Water Season? I don't really remember. Ah yes, it is. The main season is Water Season. So that is why Legendary Lucina, Legendary Azura, these two together along with player face unit, it works really nicely. But here's the thing though, because Titania has distant defense 4, you cannot kill the Nino cannot kill Titania at all because Blade Tome skills on buffs and distant defense 4 negates those buffs. So he's forced to go for the more awkward play of killing normal Azura which is a valid play. And this guy, but the issue is that this guy took 6 turns to destroy all the structures. As in, you only have 1 more turn, so realistically speaking, Nino needs to pretty much sweep every single unit on this team for it to get a win. But as you can see later, there's something else inside the team that pretty much ruins the chance of Nino sweeping the team. So Indonesia swaps again. This is what I mean. What happens now? Celica rallies. Azura dance. Yep, gone. Bye bye. Oh, just to note that Nino is running Fury, so he probably only saw the rally trap but did not see the Celica rally trap. I think having this double rally, I really like it, although sometimes it does come down to burning of the rallies on Celica, which could be quite painful for the later part of the match, whereby there's lesser momentum to work with. But I prefer this setup because you could actually do cheeky things like this, which allows for, you know, more flexible rally arrangements when the attackers come closer and it's in arm's range. That's the main thing. If it's in arm's range due to Lunar Arc always deals 5 damage over the enemy. So what happens that Lunar Arc most of the time will cause arm to attack. In that case, Celica with the secondary rally trap will actually come into rally instead. And if it's in arm's range, usually it's in Celica's range, which is why that I use this kind of setup. Alright, so this one is like a doozy, and so remember what I said, the Bridal Film is a counter. I also said before the Hector is a counter. And then we have Brave Arc and Brave Lucinia. Like, really? Seriously? Alright, this guy is only +3, but you get a point. Like, I'm not sure if this guy even plays the game because, you know, only a single Naga with every single counter in the world. And even use the Hector's what's that called, dual skill wrongly, because what happens is you are giving Arm the AoE, and that's not good. Arm has the AoE. You are not supposed to do that. And I know that you Bridal Fjord Legendary Azura, but that's the other dancer. So one thing, even if you know that the dancer is already being isolated, that does not mean that you should not use it to disable specials, because right now it's in terrible state. Halloween Hector's main purpose of that dual skill, the damage is nice, but what's even more nice is disable Interventory Pulse. I already said that a lot of times, even in the last weeks or the video for last weeks or 2 weeks ago. Please use Halloween Hector's skill properly, otherwise this is what happens. Learn to play the game. Other than that, I don't really have much to say really, because after he uses his main tank, everyone else pretty much just falls apart. That Legendary Arm just shoots down Fiorm, which is not good. If I know wrong, there's a dance as well. Yeah, a dance kills Hector because Hector is not in odd follow-up range. Odd follow-up is a really good skill, but if you don't use it, then it's useless pretty much. And unique block that causes the Naga to live, but by then it's pretty much gone. Sometimes I wonder that whether a few weeks ago I was relatively worried that Halloween Hector will ruin Aether's defenses, but I don't know, man. Based on what I saw in a lot of the people using Halloween Hector, they seems to not know how to use Halloween Hector like in the most strategic way possible, which is pretty unfortunate because he's such a good unit. I did theorycraft before that Halloween Hector is one of the best fan pitch units in the game, but I still have not seen it. But then again, that requires a lot of mergers. So, okay, so for this one, he tries to use a Gravity Cheese by getting out of range, but unfortunately, that's not how it works, because as long as there is a unit feeling threatened, due to how the AI works, the rally trap still happens, and then Faye just dies. Rip chicken. I usually use chicken in the light season, and she's been doing okay so far. And I would say, but dragon killing sometimes is a problem, and sometimes things are just too difficult to tank. Like seriously, really hard. Like this legendary arms AoE is pretty much not tankable in light season as well. You know, especially in light season because of the black sinks. And then this person tries to kill Alm again, tries to get out of range, but unfortunately unit block can't attack Naga, which is sad, but I would rather take the protection on the catapult, so no biggie. Naga tries to kill Alm, which she did, but the front line is way too tanky. There's Kronia, there's Titania, both of them are the more tanky units in the comp. So Camilla tries to kill Kronia and unleashes gravity and probably repel its back, but now everyone's still in range and they're pretty much screwed because Kronia can hit one Naga. She's in Legendary Scissors Spiritual Dance, kills another Naga. And then Titania is not in range because of the gravity, but because of rallies, it's still not in range, which is fortunate. But yeah, but then it's pretty much gone. That's pretty much the summary of last season's Astra defense. Okay, that's a wrap. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week.